Hello, how's it going? In today's video, I'm covering Council of the Seven Nations, Arming the Horde, and a little bit of the Warlock's Gambit from Chronicle Volume 2. So let's go! The surviving humans from Stormwind sailed north, and they were a little bit upset, bless them. Word of the city's destruction had spread. Lordaeron's ruler, King Terenas Menethil II, was kinda startled. He hadn't even believed the orcs were real, thanks to Neltharion's meddling. But now he knew just how much of a threat they posed. When the refugees arrived in Lordaeron, Lothar informed Terenas of exactly how mighty the Horde was. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being nothing to worry about, 10 being, hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your husbands. They're an 11, mate. A bloody 11. Lothar urged the king to gather the other human nations immediately. Unity was the only chance they had. It was time for a brain trust. In time, all the human nations' leaders came to Capital City. Gen Greymane of Gilneas, Lord Admiral Dalin Proudmoore of Kul Tiras, Archmage Antonidas of Dalaran, Thoris Trollbane of Stromgarde, and King Aidan Perinold of Ulterac. This event became known as the Council of Seven Nations. Although it seemed pretty unlikely these nations would unite, King Terenas asked for it anyway. Let's join together and form an unstoppable alliance, and then kick these Horde twats in the arse. Who's with me? And he put his hand out to do a team handstack thing. Archmage Antonidas put his hand in. He'd heard first-hand accounts of the Horde from Khadgar. Dalin Proudmoore was mates with Lothar, plus he was pretty hot-headed, so revenge for Stormwind seemed like a great idea. So his hand went in. Thoris Trollbane felt close enough to Lordaeron that he was willing to fight as well, so he was all up in that team handstack. But Gilneas and Ulterac were like, nah, sod your team handstack. Orcs don't even exist, mate. It sounds like a load of old bull nuggies. Obviously it was going to take a little bit more time to completely form this alliance. Meanwhile, Orgrim was deep in thought about the future of his people. One day, they'd be free of this bloody fell magic and could return to their old ways, like hunting and shamaning. But that wasn't going to happen anytime soon. First, they still needed to secure a home. Stormwind wasn't enough, not with the other human nations still kicking. The Horde scouts had reported that there was some kind of human brain trust meeting going on up north. This wasn't the time to sit idle. They needed to strike first, and quickly. Human prisoners from Stormwind that had been interrogated had revealed that Lordaeron was probably their best target. But how the balls were they going to take Capital City? The First War had left their forces and resources depleted, and the plan to get reinforcements from Draenor had gone to shit. In an attempt to strengthen the Horde, Blackrock Orcs had tried using Stormwind's forges to create new weapons, but most of them were in ruin due to the fire that had raged through the city. The Dragonmaw Orcs had discovered something though, but they had no idea how to use it. Zuluhead had tasked Necro Skullcrusher with figuring it out. More promisingly, the Horde had also recently become friendly with the Amani trolls. Basically, the Amani were kind of impressed by the Horde's victory over Stormwind, and they felt like maybe the Horde could help them beat those pesky High Elves. And some of the Amani had even offered to join the Horde in exchange for a favour. Their ruler, Warlord Zul'jin, had been captured by humans and was being kept prisoner near the town of Hillsbrad, so rescue him or something. There was another development as well. Gul'dan had come out of his coma. Orgrim had kept him under watch with the intention of executing him when he woke up, but when he did, Orgrim stayed his hand. This wasn't a change of heart or an act of mercy though. Gul'dan made him an offer he couldn't refuse. When Gul'dan first woke up, the world had changed. He now held zero power or influence over the Horde. His Shadow Council had been destroyed. Doomhammer was war chief. Everything was crap now. He needed to win Orgrim's favour or he'd be killed. At first, he was all like, come on man, don't kill me, I'll be your friend. When that didn't work, he promised to quit manipulating the orcs. He would no longer play silly buggers with the mysterious benefactors who taught the orcs fell magic. They'd betrayed and abandoned him anyway. But to Orgrim, this warlock's word meant absolutely nothing. Gul'dan was going to need something more, and he came up with a bloody idea. He informed the war chief that if it was power or weapons the Horde needed, he could help them create some. New warriors that could stand toe-to-toe against humanity's spellcasters. After all, their clerics and magi had proven to be a right pain in the genitals. And the interrogated prisoners had already confirmed nations like Lordaeron and Dalaran had far more of those buggers than Stormwind did. To this, Orgrim was like, oh crap, you're right. The Horde had no answer to human magic, especially now he'd outlawed the use of Fel. So he told Gul'dan to get to work, create something useful, and you get to live, you old bastard. And if you can't, I'll personally take pleasure in gutting you, boy. Leaving the Warlock alive was a risk, but he was confident he wouldn't become another puppet, like Blackhand had been. Gul'dan was like, cool. And then he immediately began thinking of how he was going to murder Orgrim, because he's a jerk. However, he abandoned this scheme when he heard a familiar voice whisper to him. That voice was Kil'jaeden. And we're leaving it there! In the next Volume 2 video, we'll find out what Kil'jaeden has to say for himself, and then we'll see the first iteration of Death Knights. As always, thanks very much to those of you who support the channel as patrons. Links in the description if anyone's interested in supporting the channel in that way. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, all of that bollocks. And all that's left to say is, thanks for watching, and see ya!